Okay, so I'm trying to make this video quite quick so it's still relevant by the time I get it out, and it's really hot in here, and forgive me, I'm a bit of a sweaty mess. It's not a pretty sight. But I think it was last night. E.L. James, the writer of 50 Shades of Grey, did a Twitter Q&A. And I think it went how you might imagine. But I want to have an open question to this. I'd like some feedback to this. I think we could have an interesting conversation here. Was it okay? And to let you know what I mean, I'll bring up some of the examples. So it starts with quite a light one. Is there a safe word we can use to get you to stop writing such drivel? Yeah, you just don't buy it. There's plenty of bad books out there. Don't buy it if you don't want it. And to really hate something to the point you tweet at the that's weird. Which do you hate more, women or the English language? I've not seen any evidence that she hates women at all. I really mean that. Show me some evidence of her hating women. I don't get it. Do you ever feel guilty that you made so much money from romanticising sexual abuse? You see, by this logic, couldn't we ask the same of J.R.R. Martin? Does he feel guilty about promoting murders at weddings? You wouldn't think that. You wouldn't think that Martin is pro wedding murder. You know, he wrote about it. It's in a book, but I wouldn't. I hope you know what I mean, and if you don't, this might be a lost cause in you, this video. But is it okay for Christian to stalk, coerce, threaten, and manipulate Anna because he's hot, or is it also okay because he's rich? Again, I've never seen any evidence of her saying that it's okay, that she's in support of it, that this is a good thing. I mean, again, you could use the same logic with J.R. Martin. I mean, is he pro having sex with your sister at her son's funeral? I don't think he's pro that. He's certainly never said he is. I think it would be strange to assume that he is. And I think that same weirdness, to me, it would be the same question. And I'd think, well, you freak. What's wrong with you that you think that author's promoting that? So, I'll move on. Did you see the abusive relationship between Bella and Edward and think, needs more abuse? Well, okay, I'd want to say the same about Tolkien and The Hobbit. Did he, after he finished it, did he go through it and think, do you know what, there wasn't enough genocide in that, I need to get more genocide because genocide's boss? No, he might have reread it and gone, oh, I'll make a more grown-up version and create the Lord of the Rings, and there's war and death in that as well. But I don't think he was pro-war and death. In fact, I think Tolkien was fairly against it after going through the First World War. So it would be weird to go, Tolkien, he loves it, it's great, war's brilliant. So maybe, I think there's a lot of evidence to suggest she got a lot of ideas from Twilight. But maybe, she saw Twilight and think, I'll make a more adult version of this and a bit more real and see where that goes, and it's done very well for her. So, but I don't think that means she's pro-abuse. Do all these negative tweets sent to you seem abusive to you? I think it's romantic enough to be turned into a novel. I think that was just a bit of a dickish thing to say, really. I mean, if you're complaining about the abuse in her, about fictional abuse done by fictional people, then really not liking that and going real with your abuse on Twitter and attacking this author and thinking, yeah, I've done something there, I've won there. I just think you're a tit. And then people sharing it and saying, oh, how boss is this? We got it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got it. No, just, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's weird. Bad behaviour. I'd rather ask E.L. James' publicist why they thought this was going to be a good idea. Okay, no, fair enough. I mean, I'm okay with that question on the whole. But maybe naively, they didn't think Twitter was going to be full of morons who can't tell the difference between the author and the story and what she might be pro or against. What's it like telling millions of women it's okay to be in an abusive relationship as long as he's rich? Again, I've just not seen any evidence whatsoever that she's saying that this is okay, that she's pro it and in support of relationships like this. She might be, but I've not seen any evidence for it, so I'm going to assume innocence. But I mean, again, you can make a comparison to, say, Tolkien. I've not seen any evidence of Tolkien being in support of massive buildings collapsing full of people, or maybe orcs, but because that's in the story, I think it's strange to go, well, therefore that's he's pro this sort of thing. I think from the little I've read, I think she's a pretty bad writer, but she's more successful than me. Not that I've ever tried, but I know for a fact if I were to try it's not going to happen. I'm not that good at anything like that. I wish I was, but I'm not. There's definitely better than her, definitely. But I don't know, maybe I think a bit too much into this, but if you can identify with Anna, and that you're reading it and thinking, no, this is an abusive relationship, don't do it, oh, she's too naive, she's gone and done, she keeps going back, or whatever. Well, maybe she's actually making a social commentary on abusive relationships and should be applauded for her efforts, rather than hounded for them. But either way, it's a leap to think she's in support of it. Then see all these people on Twitter have a go at it and then celebrate that. I don't think that's good moral behaviour. I mean, I really can't understand why we don't... If you're going to blame her and assume she's got these feelings about abusive relationships, that she's pro them and things, okay, but I think you're wrong. But if you're going to think that, at least be consistent and think, Lord of the Rings is pro collapsing buildings and mass murder and things like that, and J.R. Martin is pro murder at weddings and sex over dead children. If you can separate those things, good, but extend it to her as well. You seem to be nitpicking, and I don't understand why. But it's an open question, so if I'm completely wrong here and she deserves all the abuse that she gets over Twitter over the last day, please let me know why, because I just don't understand you at all. Okay, thanks.